The invisible walls block the way as usual. I'm starting to feel really anxious, but I can't let it show. I know it would make Miss President here worry. We're making progress slowly but surely, but I have to keep trusting that we'll get there.
I really like this school.
That was
Well,
unexpected.
I'm not surprised, since you ran for student council president. Good job winning that, by the way. Oh yeah, what's your name?
My name?
I mean, I can't call you Miss President forever, right? I guess your name was on the posters around school during elections, but I tend to ignore those. No offense.
She clams up, trying to open up a little more, but what she says next takes me by surprise.
My name? I don't know.
Huh?
I can't remember it at all. I've been trying all this time. But I can't even remember what I was doing before now. Same goes for my name. I completely forgot that I must have a real name too. Until you asked me about it. That ain't normal, is it? I wonder why that's happening to me.
It's probably because you've been in here for a long time. You've seen a bunch of other weird things in here, right?
Well, now that I think about it, the victims that were dropped into the world had scrambled memories with bits and chunks missing. So it's definitely possible she can't remember her name.
You mean like those persona and shadow things? What are those?
She seems really upset about this. I bet it's only putting more pressure on her. She's seen a lot. Maybe an explanation would help her calm down a little. I decide to answer every question she has one at a time.
A shadow is another side of you. It's what you're not conscious of. Or more like the feelings you didn't want to admit you had. Everyone has a side like that. An ugly part of themselves. And most people hate to admit it exists. But if you accept it, it becomes a persona. A power that can protect you.
So you have to accept yourself.
I went through that once. But it seems like my shadow's back. Well, I'll just have to accept it again.
I sure hope that's all I have to do. Of course, I can't say that part out loud. I talk like I was confident, but in reality, I'm really nervous. How can I be smiling when I'm so worried? It's crazy, right? I look at her, trying to gauge how she's feeling.
Rough. You think since I can't remember anything, the same's happening to me?
Don't worry, I'm sure you're just in a little bit of shock right now.
Oh, great. Now I've got her all nervous, too. Trying to cheer her up, I try to play
You remember that you're the
good
student
parts.
council president, right? I'm sure you just need a little help to remember everything else.
You think so? You've been a real big help, Yosuke-kun.
Huh? Me? Did I do something?
You sure have.
She finally smiles. It's only a little, but it's there. Huh, is this really the first time I've seen her smile? Hot damn, she really is cute. I start to get embarrassed about having faked asking her out during a date. My feet speed up. Crap, now I'm literally running away from her. Talk about chicken-hearted. Finally, and I do mean finally, we stand in front of the announcement room. Miss President and I exchange a glance. Then I summon all my courage to throw the door open. I'm expected to see fake Teddy, or should I say my shadow in the room. What? Risei's the only one in here.
Yosuke-senpai!
Are you alright? Where's the shadow?
You mean the fake Teddy? He hasn't come back at all. I sense this weird presence, but I don't know what it is.
Risei looks around nervously. I look around too. I haven't been in the announcement room often, but I can tell that this isn't anything like the real one. The room is huge with monitors everywhere. Not to mention a giant window taking up the entire wall with a crazy view outside. Yeah, this is crazy town alright. But what's this weird present Risei's talking about?
What are you freaking out about? This is your chance to save a pretty girl and become a hero, right, Yosuke? Huh?
That's Yosuke-kun's voice.
I slowly turn the voice's direction. There was no one there a second ago, but now suddenly there is, and he had my face. His inhuman gold eyes narrow in a taunting way. Looks like I was
there,
right.
Yosuke.
What in the world are you doing here, dude?
Yosuke-senpai's shadow?
Man, this isn't getting any easier. But at least I can confront him without freaking out like I did last year.
I thought you merged back with me. I'll come out anytime you start ignoring me. I'm always watching you. I am you, after all.
Yeah, but if you came back, why... Sure.
This is a shadow?
Yeah, that's right. You're me. You're the weakness in my heart. I admit it. Now get back here.
I blurted out before I have time to give it second thoughts. That should do it. Then the shadow starts laughing instead.
Not bad, but that's exactly what I mean by ignoring. You haven't changed at all since then. You just cover up whatever you don't want to see and paper over it. That's why I've returned. I'm not your persona anymore. Don't tell me.
Hold a sec, does that mean... Forget logic, it's faster just to try it. My nervousness fills the announcement room, and that's it. My persona, Jiraiya, doesn't appear. Instead, the Shadow Being is laughing even harder.
No way.
So you really are?
To be honest, I was still doubtful. Oh, am I gonna have to do this fight without persona and just using my regular attacks? That would be really interesting. Honestly, I was still doubtful. I had hoped he wasn't my shadow. I mean, of course I didn't want to believe this Grand Prix is for me, but... and that I wasn't having any fun. My shadow's right. All I was doing was ignoring the problem. My fists clench and my knees locked, my entire body shakes.
I was weak? Is that why everyone got dragged into it? Yep. Because I wanted a crisis to solve again. Because the case ended and I was bored? You got it. I'm sure you understand without me having to tell you. I couldn't save Saki-senpai. I didn't want to ever lose someone again, but I still wished for this.
I was proud that Inaba was peaceful, and I thought that I could finally be proud of putting Saki-senpai's death behind me. And yet, was I really faking all of that? In the end, am I just a loser who puts his own boredom over the death of a loved one?
Senpai.
I could hear the quivering in Rise's voice. No, this isn't true. Don't look at me. This isn't me.
All your desire. Trust me, I know. I am you, after all.
I could feel myself ready to fall on my knees. I can't use my persona anymore. I thought I had changed, but now I've literally lost everything. I have to accept it. My mind knew what to do, but my heart still raged against it. Even before I knew what I was saying, the words were flying from my mouth.
You're not...
Oh, Senpai, look at me!
I lifted my eyes to look at Rise. There she was, with Miss President standing next to her. It was tough, seeing the looks on their faces. I look away quickly, but Rise scolds me.
No matter what weaknesses you might have, we'll never stop liking you. So please, don't deny who you are.
Why'd you have to get in the way?
Here, I finally got in touch with the others. Listen to them.
Rise closes her eyes and folds her hands as if in prayer. I see that elegant shape of her persona appear behind her. In that instant, voices pour into my head.
Moron, what are you saying? Who do you think we are?
Yosuke-kun, we heard everything, but there's nothing for you to be afraid of.
I don't really get what's going on, but if it's gonna keep showing up, you just gotta beat the crap out of it every time.
We're all with you, Yosuke. You can rely on me too, you know.
Anyone can fall prey to the same troubles and insecurities. It's not just you, Senpai. It's true for all of us.
Everyone. My vision suddenly clears. I hadn't even realized that I was squeezing my eyes shut.
Naoto? How come you're here?
That's well...
Who cares why? There's more important stuff at stake here.
And after Chie, the clearest voice of
You won
all.
the battle against yourself back then, but you can't do it this time? Yosuke, believe in us.
Believe in yourself, dude. When I hear my partner's voice, I draw a ragged breath. I take deep breaths, not noticing until now how much I had tensed up in the last few moments. Rise, the bringer of these voices, turns to me. From the smiles on her face, I knew she expects me to feel better now. And even though she has to be scared right now, she cares enough to smile for me when I'm feeling down. That's right. I finally realized the simplest truth. The biggest difference between the person I was last year and the person I am now. Now I have friends that accept me, even when I doubt myself. How could I not believe in myself? How could I be so weak to stand up? They're all believing in me. I'm not alone.
Such an idiot, aren't I? A grade A moron.
I raised my head and looked straight at my shadow. Any trace of fear I had was
I thought I
completely
overcame
gone.
my weakness and I was done with it for good. Dude, how naive was that, right? What? I'm weak. I'll probably always be weak. But that doesn't mean I need to run away. I'll keep fighting my weakness. And I'll do it as many times as it takes, even if that never stops.
My heart was calm. I was conflicted just a moment ago, but now everything had been made clear. They believe in me. And knowing that, I feel their faith in me pushing me forward. I can feel the power surging in me. The force filling my spirit causes me to shout out.
Persona!
Oh, I do get to use my persona. It'd be kind of cool if I just had to do it with nothing but physical attacks. That'd be interesting.
Just getting started. Get some. Try it. You don't get me. You don't get me. You don't dare. Here I come. Persona. Conga. It's showtime. Peekaboo. Time for some confusion. Here I come. Behind you.
All right. I actually won a battle on my first try. Hooray!
You did it, Senpai! That was awesome!
I let Rise's observation wash over me. But there's something bugging me, something that could be really bad for me.
Conversation with my shadow. Did you?
I hijacked the school PA system.
I knew it. Everyone had been backing me because they've been hearing everything I said leading up to
my
it.
shadow last time. And now everyone got to listen in? So lame.
That's not true. You were really cool, Senpai.
Thanks.
Miss President looks like she's having trouble finding words for this. Damn it, she's horrified by me. I can't blame her. She was left out of the picture. But, well, explaining to her can wait. I need to do something about my shadow. But when I turn around, my shadow isn't there.
Where did he go? If he disappears, won't my persona... Wait.
Something's not right. I used my persona during that fight. But my persona's my shadow, so if my shadow left me, how could I have used my persona? As I'm struggling with that, Rise speaks up.
Something's not right.
Her voice is firm. Did she just think of the same conundrum that I did? No, that's not all. There's an eerie presence all around. Even I can feel it. It must be hitting Rise like a jolt of electricity. I can't let my guard down yet.
Rise, Miss President, stay close to...
Right at that moment, the lights go out and darkness covers the room.
What the hell?
I can't believe you've made it this far. They repeatedly suffered the pain of fighting their friends, but they still didn't lose heart.
The lights come back on. When they do, Fake Teddy is standing there. Why is it looking like that now? Wait, was this the one talking that weird voice? Fake Teddy ignores me and looks at Miss President.
Understand you after all. What a shame.
Who are you?
Then you weren't my shadow?
I want to make people fight. I especially want friends to fight against each other. Then maybe they'll understand how I feel. That was your wish, wasn't it?
What are you saying?
What does it mean that was my wish? And what's with that voice? Wait a minute. It's not talking to me. You mean...
Senpai, get back! The shadow's reacting to Miss President! It was really her shadow!
What?
I can feel my brain cracking open like a dropped watermelon. That's Miss President's shadow? But it just said it was my shadow. And now that I think about it, General Teddy has always been hostile to her, even since we met outside the school. That would explain Rise's voice in the PA system, too. Well, duh. If a normal person's in here long enough, of course her shadow's going to split away from her. I should have known that. After all, it's exactly what kept happening last year. Miss President just looks so healthy, it never occurred to me. This is just... as if to mock my astonishment, the General keeps talking to in General Teddy's shape.
I did exactly what you wished. So, how did that work out for you? They still couldn't understand you. No one can really understand how we feel, can they? Come on. How much longer are you going to keep deceiving yourself? Didn't you hear them say you shouldn't ignore who you are? Here, I'll show you your reality.
With that, the enemy finally shows its real form. Now, actually, I hadn't considered that before, but yeah, that means that androids like Aegis theoretically have shadows. Which, the reason I think that's interesting is that they are built with personas, basically. They're built to use personas, so how does them having a shadow even work?
That's my face.
But that's all that's the same. Even though her shadow has the same face, her body is wrapped in metal. Miss President screams at what appears to be something from a sci-fi flick.
You must remember now.
No, I'm not like that.
No, Miss President, calm down. A shadow doesn't just take on your appearance. You look like a twisted version of you to agitate you even more.
No.
I tried calming her down, but my words aren't reaching her. She just keeps shaking her head in denial. What's going on here? Shadows are things that meant to exemplify what their originals want to be. I've never heard of them transforming into other people. Shadow sees my confusion and smiles.
It's an illusion.
Huh?
It's an illusion. Isn't that what you thought when you fought your friends? Your senses were being deceived, warping what you saw, twisting what you heard. That's how you made my senpai fight each other. Is that your power? Not just mine. It's actually our power. Isn't that so? Me.
R? What is she saying?
I'm not like you. I'm human.
Miss President crouches down and says the words that are always bad. With that, the shadow smile grows even more menacing and snaps his fingers again. At that moment, something like TV static flashes across my eyes. I rub my eyes. The static doesn't cover my entire field of vision, but it slowly begins to focus around the President. When it clears, Miss President has changed. Metallic limbs stretch from her uniform. Something metallic like wings unfurl from her back. There's no doubt, she's the same as the shadow standing in front of us. She cries out and tries to cover her ears, but when she does, the sound of metal grinding against metal accompanies her movements. I see myself reflected in the shiny metal of her fingers.
Robot.
So that means the shadow isn't some fancy version. That's her true self. Miss President was the one trying to look like a human.
No! I'm human!
You still believe that about yourself? No human can do that. And you know it.
The shadow points at me. I'm at a loss for words. I look around, but in the end my eyes meet hers. We had both fallen silent. In those few seconds, I can feel a deep rift growing between us.
No, don't get me wrong. I was just a little surprised.
I'm human!
Wait, I'm sorry,
Suddenly, there's an explosion so loud I think my eardrums are blown out. The smoke makes me cough and my eyes tear up. I manage to focus and see a hole in the wall. I can barely see through the smoke, but I can see a hallway on the other side. Eventually the smoke clears, and a shape steps through the hole.
I didn't sense anything until now!
I guess! It was a girl. Blonde hair, blue crystal-like eyes, but there are metallic sounds as she walks.
So this is where you were.
Another robot girl?
It's another girl with a mechanical body, just like the Shadow and Miss President. She looks at the trembling president and calls out.
You must remember, that is the only way the future will open up to you. You must accept it, no matter how painful it may be. Your true name is 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon. Labris.
Labris? Weapon? What? What's going on here? I don't remember if this happened last time, but when Iga steps in, all of a sudden Burn My Dread starts playing.
Welcome to the Velvet Room. This place exists between dream and reality, mind and matter.
So, and another 7%.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
There are 13 people in total. 13 times 7 is like 91%, I think, if my math is not terrible. So, awesome. That means there's like another 9% of the game after I go through everyone's story. And join in next time when we will go through Chie's story. I do find it interesting that all of a sudden we have
persona you have acquired.
Akihiko and Mitsuru's
shows itself when you face the world around you.
Stories available, considering that we haven't actually met them in anyone's storyline yet.
Facade of determination you wear.
Although theoretically we should have been able to possibly find them in those two. But we'll see. Join me next time when we go into Chie's storyline. Thank you very much for tuning in. I always appreciate it. And I will see you all next time for Let's Play Persona 4 Arena Blind.